Welcome back to another hour with Crowder with me, your host Crowder. Like, share, subscribe, and comment. And if you're already a subscriber, go ahead and ding the bell so that you can get all of my latest podcasts every Tuesday. So I know that y'all are getting mad at me about the every Tuesday thing. It's not that I just don't want to make an episode. I'm just into stuff right now. I'm trying to up my reading game. I've been listening to some of my podcasts and it's getting kind of crazy, third grade level reading and stuff. I've been trying to acquire land. I want to move out of the city. And I've been watching the Ghislaine Maxwell trial, and I think that's interesting. So it's just a couple things that I've been doing, and it's good to take a rest sometimes. It's good to get yourself back aligned with things that you like doing in your life and not be just on the pavement. And plus, I have a job too. So, and I work overnight. So it's, a lot to do a podcast, come home, do the dog, do this, it's a lot. So, if I don't be on the Tuesday that you think I should be on, just know I'm getting back around to it Tuesday. But let's go ahead and get into some topics. Jessie Smollett case. Jessie, man. I mean, it's just, I don't really understand why he did that. I don't even understand what the whole cause was. It's just so much. But let me just go ahead and read y'all some excerpts real quick so we could just get into it, because I got a lot to say to Jessie and the LBGT community, because I do really feel like we missed the mark on this one. Once again, just like with the Alan Walker, we missed the mark to check the people that's in our community. So here's the excerpt. Jessie Smollett, convicted Thursday for lying to police about a racist homophobic attack, came nearly 3 years after his report of a horrifying hate crime quickly became part of a polarized political landscape, with people, including the President of the United States, weighing in from all over. A prosecutor said the verdict was a resounding message by the jury that Mr. Smollett did exactly what we said he did: recruit two brothers to fake an attack so that it could be recorded by a surveillance camera and posted on social media for publicity. The brothers testified that the former Empire actor paid them $3,500 for the hoax and gave them lines to yell, including about MAGA country and apparent reference to the then President Donald Trump, "Make America Great Again." I'm scrolling down, and the next part I'm going to read is just a little bit below. Smollett stood and faced juries, showing no visible reaction as the verdict was read. He and his family later left the courthouse without a comment. Judge James Lynn set a post-trial hearing for January the 27th and said he would schedule Smollett's sentencing at a later date. Disorderly conduct is a Class 4 felony that carries a prison sentence of up to 3 years, but experts have said if convicted, Smollett would likely be placed on probation in order to perform community service. So he's probably not going to get much time if he does get time, and he's probably going to be on probation. But back to my point about the LBGT community. We missed the mark. Again, calling out people in our community, because in this day and age, straight people can't call out gay or transphobic or trans people anymore, because they'll be deemed as that person's a transphobic or that person's a homophobic, even if they have a valid point about a situation that's going on. One of the reasons why I feel like the LBGT community should really be mad this time, because, we always get mad about little stuff that really don't even affect us in a big way. But we should be mad at this one because, unlike Jessie, we don't actually have security to walk us around. So when real hate crimes happen to us, then they're going to take it less likely, because they already think that we're a dramatic set of people. They already think that we blow everything out of proportion. So the next time a hate crime actually happens to someone in the LBGT community, it has been diminished and watered down by Jessie Smollett for faking it, for faking his hate crime. I just don't understand why we wasn't there to call him out on it, because I don't know about you guys, but it's actually real crimes out there that happen, and I don't want to be a victim of one of those crimes. But from the jump, the case wasn't even really believable. Two big Nigerian people snatch you up, put a noose around your neck, scream out MAGA country, calls him the N-word, calls him a couple of homophobic slurs. It just kind of seemed like it was teeter-tottering on, is this a black hate crime or is this a gay hate crime? I don't know. Honestly, I thought that it was a sketch for Empire 3 or something, season 3 or 4 or whatever season they're on. I stopped watching it a long time ago. But it just kind of seemed like it was a manufactured crime. It looked like it was fake. So that's why, honestly, I didn't believe it until he came out on CNN talking about it and, going on talk shows and talking about it. And I was just like, oh, this is real. But yeah, the case didn't seem believable anyways. That's why, honestly, when I read the excerpt of it in that article that I just read, and it was like, he did exactly what we said he did, faked it. When I first read that before the podcast, I started laughing because I was like, it's not like we all didn't know that he faked it. But like I said, I think that the LBGT community needs to have more balance, because we're beginning to be that group of people that just screams homophobic or transphobic whenever something's not going our way. We never call out the people that do things wrong that's actually in our community. And that's kind of our job. If you're like a gay person that's just regular smegular, you ain't no famous person, you ain't got no agenda to push or nothing like that, you just want to be equal and you want to be treated with respect, that's usually the regular smegular LBGTQ member. But these celebrities always have an agenda to push, and we as the LBGTQ community never called them out on it. We never called them out. We always get mad about what Lil Boosie said to Nas X, which, yeah, that was kind of harsh of what he said. But did that really mess up anything off in our community? Not really. We got mad at Mayweather and him not signing that autograph for that kid that had his nails painted. Okay, I see that, because that guy was just a kid. He looked like he was 17, 18. Okay, I'll get down with that. Let's, call him out on that. And then, we got mad about the Dave Chappelle and the transgender jokes that he was saying. I didn't get mad about that, but I could see why someone could be offended, especially if they don't really take jokes well. But here we are. Alan Walker said some alarming things about minor attractive people and comparing it to his experience as a trans male, basically saying that the reason why he feels the way that he feels about people in the MAPS community is because he's a trans male and he has the same experience. Like when they talk to him about their experience as a minor attractive person, then he said, oh, that's kind of like being a trans male. I didn't see any transgender people jumping out the window with that one. And now we have Jessie Smollett that faked the hate crime, gay hate crime, and we're not going to say anything about that. Because just remember, we don't have security like he does. So when it happens to us, we don't have any protection like he does. Yeah, like we have that law about, LBGT hate crimes or whatever, but, that stuff is still going on. And I think that we just need to have more balance. We got to start having more balance, because we're beginning to be the butt of the joke, and people aren't going to take our movement seriously if we keep getting on straight people about the things that they say and do that offends us, but we don't have that same energy for the LBGT community. We have to be balanced. We have to do both. But I'm not going to go so hard on him, because he's going to get probation for a fake crime that he did. And let's be clear, Chicago PD don't care about, this crime. they've been killing each other up there in Chicago for almost 5, 6, 7 years. Violent, crazy crimes, shooting every day, and nothing has happened. It's still going sky high. The stats on that city is still going up high, and nothing. But because he's a celebrity, then they put all that manpower out there. So they're not mad that he called in a false report. They're really mad that they wasted all that manpower. They're mad that they wasted that manpower. They're mad that they wasted all that money looking for two guys that Jessie Smollett ended up hiring anyways. So my thing is, if he's going to get 3 years probation, then everybody that made false police reports, all the Karens calling on people, selling a little bit of fruit on the side of the road, little kids selling candy, black men selling loose cigarettes, y'all need to go through there and look at all the false reports and go tell all those people that make those false reports that they got 3 years too. Because y'all have set the standard in Chicago. That's the standard. Now, if you do a fake crime and we find out that you did a fake crime, then you get 3 years probation. I feel like that's fair. But yeah, that's all I pretty much have to say about that. We got to be balanced more, y'all. We got to start calling out both sides, even if they're in our community. It's the equivalent of, you can't talk, you might not can talk about my brother, but I can, pull up our community publicly, just like we try to pull up the straight people. But remember, at the end of the day, we're all black. So I'm going to go ahead and put a button on that. And speaking of wrong and crazy things, when I was in the trenches 3 weeks ago with the Cal Rittenhouse situation, and I'm not going to go back over that at all, so don't turn me off just yet. I'm not going over that, y'all. But I've been in a group, Joel Patrick. I don't know if anybody knows him or anything like that, but yeah, I've been in the trenches again on Instagram and Twitter, and I came across a guy named Joel Patrick, and I've been on his page for a little while now. He says some pretty decent stuff from time to time, and I want to talk about a couple of things that I found kind of alarming about him and his followers. Here's a couple of pictures of him, and I guess I don't know if these are like actually his standpoints or his views. I mean, I would think that they're his views because, he's saying them and he's spending money. So, yeah, there's a picture of him right here, black scratched out, white scratched out, human. That's a shirt that he sells, And I'm not mad at that because at the end of the day, we all fighting for equality, right? But we also know that the government does not, and the Constitution does not look at black people as human because they let the police hunt us down like animals. You got this other picture right here. Think for yourself, when all of his talking points are conservative, though. He's a funny guy. He's kind of funny to me. Kind of funny looking, too. And then you got this one last shirt right there. It's okay to be white. Why not it's okay to be black? Because anytime we go to a job, we got a code switch. We got to start talking white and acting white. And yeah, sure, Bill. We got to change up our whole voice, get back in the car, listen to thug rap music afterward. Got to pull up to the job with, I don't know. So it's just like it's okay to be white, it's okay to be black, but black people really don't get a chance to be themselves because we're going to be deemed as ghetto and loud and, savages. Here go another one of his posts that he had. You see, hands up, hands down, you walk, you run, you hide, you sleep, you comply. And then on all of that, they shoot. So what are we supposed to do now? And this is actually what he said in response of that, because I'm guessing that's like something that was said from BLM. And don't get it twisted, I do not support BLM. But he said, this is false. In 2020, 221 black men were shot by the police. 21 were unarmed, 8,700 were shot by other black men. 6,435 were unarmed. You are 36 times more likely to be killed by a black man as a black man than you are to be killed by the police. Okay, the whole, oh God, Joel. The whole, the problem with this comment is that, yes, he's right, but the reason why black men are more likely to get shot by black men is because we live in the same neighborhood. They live in the same neighborhood. You know, just like white people are more likely to get shot by white people. Why? Because they live in the same neighborhood. Jewish people are going to get shot by Jewish people. Why? Because they live in the same neighborhood. So this is kind of crazy that was his standpoint on this. Don't really know what that was about. And then you got, you know, BLM protesting for 3 white guys. And just like that, all lives matter. You know, that's another one of his posts. And we all know that this is, you know, trolling for conservatives, you know, because the whole reason why BLM was even marching was because of, not the George Floyd. I heard that they was marching for Jacob Blaine's a black guy that ended up getting shot by the police, and he's paralyzed now. So it wasn't the fact that they were protesting for the white men that had got shot. They was actually protesting for that guy that got shot by the police. And these 3 people got shot that happened to be white. And we all know why Cal got away with what he got away with is because these 3 people was out there marching for this black guy that got shot by the police unfairly and now is paralyzed. So yeah, that's Joel Patrick. And like I said, it's not that I don't disagree with everything he says, because like I said, he has a bunch of things that I do particularly like gun laws, and he's pro-life. I'm pro-life also. And, you know, the nuclear black family, he speaks a lot about that. And, you know, I agree with all those, but it's the fact that he's so one-sided with it. And you can just clearly tell that he's the token black guy, the token black friend, white man's best friend. He's a black conservative, and you know, it is what it is. I'm never tripping off labels, but it's like, dang. Oh, yeah, and he was on a YouTube channel for a small bit of time. I don't know what happened there. He doesn't do it anymore, but it's called Liberty Hangout. And I liked it, Liberty Hangout. It was okay, but it was really one-sided as well, and that's why I had to stop watching it. But he did put out a video that was clearly like very surface deep, and that's what a bunch of his posts is about. It's just very surface deep. It never really shows the other part of why this surface level problem happened. It's always something deeper of why it happened. And his page and the followers on his page never look deeper into the problem. They always just be like, yeah, and all those rioters out there, yeah, and black people always blaming, you know, somebody, and yeah, you know, one of them type of white people. If I had to, you know, put him in the tier of Dusties, I would say he was the second. He's the second tier of Dusty. But yeah, it's a video that I did pull up that I want y'all guys to hear. So here it is.
In Michigan school systems, after we just had a mass shooting in Oxford, I was made aware that a teacher was carrying a gun, 2 to be exact, one on his hip and one at his ankle, by his sister. And when I went to warn the school, they did absolutely nothing, in my understanding.
Who am I talking to? Sure. My name is Karen. I had got information that one of your teachers, Chris Landon, carries a gun to school, and I wanted to know what the school was doing about it. I can reassure you he is not.
It's very upsetting, especially after what happened at Oxford. So I want to know what Duran Middle School is doing.
So first off, she goes and calls the school, which she has no business calling because it's none of her business whether or not a teacher has a gun. Secondly, she says she's worried because a school shooting has just occurred. Oh, are you? You're worried? So then maybe you understand that school shootings go on as long as there is not a second gun present. The arrival of the second gun dictates the duration of the school shooting. So if there is a teacher who is trained and they're carrying a gun for the safety of the students, that teacher is not posing a risk to the students. They're there to protect the students. But I guess the concept of protecting someone with a firearm is completely lost on you.
What he said in the video wasn't necessarily wrong, because I do agree that if teachers was able to carry guns in school, then mass shootings wouldn't be so present, because you'll have one guy knowing that all of these teachers have a gun. So most school shootings, they don't want to die. They want to go off in there and kill their bully or whatever. You know, they don't really want to die like that, because if they really wanted to die, they would just kill themselves. They wouldn't go in and shoot up the whole school. It's just an act of anger, of they're just trying to get their anger out, and they happen to choose a gun. But their mindset is going to change a little bit if they know every teacher off in the school has a gun, you know? So I do agree with that part. But the thing that I didn't agree with, and the thing that I kind of peeped a little bit behind all of the good stuff that he did say, is that he never really, like, he called the young lady a Karen. You know, he called her a Karen, which is, we all know what a Karen is, somebody that don't mind their own business or whatever. And he's saying that she should mind her own business. But I never see on his page him post pictures or videos of real Karens that's really off in people's business for no reason. Like, you know, the Mexican vendor that's across the street from the school that's just selling fruit. And then what? A white person calls because why? They don't have a permit. You know, but your house nastier than a mug. You know? And you worried about a street vendor making like a little bit of money on the side. I wish I had that video up, and I might insert it. But if I don't, it was two, I think they was Philippines or Koreans or something, and they was cooking on the back of their truck. And they had went to, I guess, this high rise of a building. And, you know, sometimes the high rising of the building have like a parking lot. And, you know, they just cooking up a little bit of food up there, you know, because I think they're on a road trip or something like that. And, you know, this old white lady, you know, they got to be old, they got to be white. She comes up there and, why are y'all on my property? Okay, it's an apartment building. A bunch of people live there, bitch. So it ain't just yours. And it don't seem like nobody else cared that they was there except you. And, you know, she goes into saying that, you know, I'm going to call the police or whatever. And they was really nice about it. They was just like, okay, well, let me just put the food up. Just let me go ahead and put the food up. You know, they better than me, because I would have been like, call them. I'm eating. I'm on a road trip. Where else am I supposed to eat? I'm cooking food. You know, I ain't bothering nobody. But, you know, this is a Karen, you know. And afterwards, she threw the food. Like, she tossed the food up. After they was trying to put it in their car, had messed up their whole little spread. And then we've all seen that one video of the little black kid selling candy outside of the store. And another old white lady came out and scolding him and, you know, telling him he need to get up out of here and, you know, trying to get the store manager to get him up out of her. And then another white man came and bought all his candy and, you know, cussed her out as he should have. And yeah, but you don't ever see any of that stuff on Joel's Patrick page. It's always gunning towards the black community in a negative way and always capping for the white community, or white conservatives, I should say, you know, or black conservative. It's always a black, white conservative point that he's trying to make. All of his talking points are always conservative. So, and ain't nothing wrong with that. But it's like, you don't have any balance, my dude. You're not giving both perspectives of a situation, only one, and just, you know, capping for them, you know? And then there's another video that I'm going to put off in here. Here y'all go right here.
Tragically, 4 people died in a mass shooting in Michigan. While this is terrible, these people that just come into the comments immediately with another day in America or America has a mass shooting problem, how many more need to die before we take action with gun control? In Wisconsin, not even a month ago, somebody took the life of 6 people with a vehicle. The thing is, people are depraved, evil people. People will be evil people regardless of the presence of a firearm. You can't blame a firearm any more than you can blame the car. Evil people do evil things. So the person who is responsible is the person who pulls the trigger, or the person driving the car, or the person with the weapon. 438 people died in the United States from mass shooting in 2021. 17,000 people died from a slip and fall. Now, I don't see people saying, when are we going to get signs that say, caution wet floor? Because we have those. Just like it's illegal to mass shoot people.
Now, like I said, again, agree totally with what he's saying. Me, myself, I am a legal gun holder. I do love my Second Amendment right. And I'm not against anybody, defending themselves when there's an actual deadly, force or a threatening force. Not a nigga with a skateboard, not, someone just getting up in your face. No, if they have a gun or an axe or a knife, yeah, I might shoot. And then even then, I'm probably just going to shoot you in your leg because really I just want to whoop your ass. I just want to hurt you. I don't want to kill you. I want you to go to jail. So then I can be on your visitor list and say, gotcha, nigga. But yeah, anyways, I agree with everything that he said off in that video, but peep the peepage. He brought it back to the black community. That driver that he was talking about that ran over 6 people, he was talking about that incident at that parade, that Darrell Brooks, that crazy black dude that ran over all them people in that Christmas parade and stuff. Yeah, that's who he was talking about. And I'm just like, bro, why did you have to use that example? First of all, that's a car. It has nothing to do with guns. You're talking about guns, and then you slide it over to some incident that happened with a car. Okay, we already know that's not even a good point to make. It's 2 different type of forms of weapon, and everybody knows that cars, car wrecks and all that stuff happens or whatever. So I just don't even know why he brought that one up. A better example, a better one would have been these, which is one, because I got 3 of them. Here go to Ethan Crumbly, he ain't said nothing on his page about that. But, you got Ethan Crumbly, which he was that young man that had shot up the school or whatever about a week ago, I think. Here go a little excerpt or whatever that happened. And I guess what? The attorney for accused school shooter Ethan Crumbly, broke her silence in an exclusive interview with WXYZ. Paulette Michelle Lofton is newly appointed attorney for the 15-year-old who allegedly killed 4 students at Oxford High School. Crumbly is behind bars facing numerous charges, including terrorism and 4 counts of premeditated murder. Those charges could potentially lead him life in prison. So, yeah, he could have went with that one, which I feel is really weird that he didn't, because that would have been a way better example than the Darrell Brooks situation with the whole parade thing. We don't even know why he did that. He was just on the run, crazy. I don't know. And for disclosure, we as the black community don't claim that crazy nigga. But yeah, Ethan Crumbly is a really crazy situation because apparently he was giving a whole countdown on his Instagram, putting up the days that he was going to go in shooting them. He got a whole bunch of crazy stuff on his Instagram, pictures of, sketches and pictures of shooting people and stuff like that. I don't know. And the day of the shooting, or I think the day before the shooting, he got caught looking for ammunition online. And then his mom said that he wasn't she wasn't mad that he was doing it. She was mad that he got caught. So everybody that's posting that around, that's what she was talking about. She wasn't talking about he didn't call his mom and said, "Oh, I shot up a whole bunch of people." And she was like, "Oh, I'm not mad at you, for doing it. I'm mad that you got caught." She was saying that regarding to him looking up ammunition because the teachers ended up calling the mama and telling them that that's what he was looking up in school after they had found sketches of him drawing a picture of blood everywhere. And what else did he have off in there? Sketches of him shooting people or stick figures shooting people and dead people everywhere. So that's what that was in regards to. And my thing is, just like the Kyle Rittenhouse situation, your parents give you the ammunition, which I don't mean ammunition as in like the bullets or nothing, but I mean the lead way to do something. The parents had already been notified of the strange behavior that Ethan had, throughout the week and throughout the months, and they still ignored the situation of their son possibly being mentally ill, still letting him go to school, and then on top of that, getting him a gun for an early Christmas present. I'm sorry, if I see that my son is, acting crazy, acting strange, kind of depressed, kind of whatever, I'm not getting him no gun. They should have took that $350 that they used to get him that gun or that 9mm and been putting his little ass in counseling somewhere, because he clearly had problems. But no, they gave him a gun, and then that ended up him shooting, I think, 4 or 6 people and a teacher included. Yeah, and then they ended up trying to flee like the city. They was found in a warehouse 40 miles away from the city, had took $4,000 out of the bank. That seems like you trying to run away. And when they were finally caught, they was like, "We ain't trying to run away. We just had to handle some business." Okay. That doesn't sound like you was handling business. What business is 40 miles away from your hometown? What? I don't pay my bills in Fort Worth, Texas if I live in Dallas. That just seemed very strange to me. And I mean, you can go off of, well, he was getting bullied, because I see a lot of people doing that. He was getting bullied thing. And I'm going to say the same thing that I said when the young man at Timber High School in Arlington, Texas. I'm going to say the same thing. These kids need to learn how to start fighting. We didn't have no, guns as birthday present or Christmas presents when we were growing up. If somebody was talking about us or talking about our mama or talking about our sister, guess what? We just had to get out there and fight. We just had to get out there and fight. You either going to do one or two things. You're going to get your ass talked about, or you're going to get out there and fight. But them the only two resources that you should have as a kid. You either going to learn how to scold back on their ass, get talked about, and just get bullied, or you going to fight them. That's it. So I don't want to hear about he was getting bullied. And I do have like a soft spot in my heart for people that get bullied, because I was bullied, and it does weigh in on you the older that you get. But like I said, you got to learn how to fight. You got to learn how to stop being so weak and weak-minded, because really it all do come from being weak-minded, because can't nobody tell me that I'm dumb if I'm getting A's on my test. Nobody can tell me that I'm ugly, because they look different. Everybody different. Everybody ugly to somebody. I'm pretty sure Beyonce ugly to somebody. Rihanna's ugly to somebody. But look who they got. A$AP Rocky and Jay-Z, and both of them motherfuckers ugly. So, and then he could have even went with the Chad Reed. Listen here, Chad Reed. If y'all don't know who Chad Reed is, that was that whole situation that happened with the baby, the baby daddy coming to pick up his son, and the stepdaddy was there. Yeah. The attorney for Chad Reed's, here go a little excerpt right here, y'all. The attorney for Chad Reed's widow released a statement and videoed the shooting that killed 54-year-old Chad Reed on November 5th. Along with the video, the attorney supplied a petition filed on Wednesday showing Jennifer Reed, Chad's widow, is seeking custody of her late husband, children from their mother. I'm gonna skip because y'all know that I ain't good at reading like that. I'm just gonna skip a smidget, just a little bit. Okay, and so this is the altercation that happened when a trespassing Chad Reed advanced on Mr. Caruth, who was standing within feet of the front door of his home and office. Employees there, Mr. Reed said, "I'll take your gun and effing kill you with it," and then tried to. It was then and only then did that gun get pointed at Mr. Reed at the fatal moment. Caruth attorney said Mr. Reed had every opportunity to leave to try to escalate the situation. He was threatening to others. Police had been called and he knew that. Mr. Caruth came out the door, the gun pointed in the air, and told him to leave. Most people would have. Mr. Reed then chose to advance on Mr. Caruth. They were face to face. Gwen continued. Mr. Reed said he'd take the gun and kill him with it. The gun went off into the patio. That still did not deter Mr. Reed, who then grabbed the gun and tried to kill Cal. See, now, me, honestly, the gun shouldn't even been out there, because if you step on my front porch with the drum, I'm going to just fight you. I just don't understand why, like, white people are so scary these days. Honestly, why are people scary these days? It ain't even white people. It's just people. It's just so quick to shoot. And like I said, I'm not one of them, take all the guns away type of people. I'm not. I have a gun, and I don't want nobody coming in to take my gun. But it's like, use your gun to defend yourself at the proper moment. He didn't have no gun. I don't care if he was out there windmilling. And all your employees out there, everybody should have just started whooping his ass. That's what I don't understand, is that you got your employees there, you got, and your employees usually become your friends and stuff. I know that this is Lubbock, Texas, that they was in. Y'all know that they be drinking beers after work. So if I didn't had a beer with you, you can fight with me. You can fight with me, and we all gonna come back to work the next day. But it's just like, I've never been that scared of another person that I just automatically grab my gun, or I automatically just want to shoot somebody. I just don't know, because like I said in the beginning, I'm not looking to kill you. I'm looking to hurt you, so that you can live to fight another day. I'm sorry, I did not mean to put that up in there. It's just, every time I think about shooting, I think about that little scene from Friday when Craig had got the gun, and he's like, "You think you're a man with that gun?" And Craig's like, "I'm a man without it." And that's what we need. More men that are men without guns, because I don't even understand why he had the gun in the first place. But I ain't gonna stunt. They say don't ever grab a gun unless you're gonna use it, and he used it that day. But yeah, I mean, we can, and once again, we can go off semantics. We can say, well, by law, he had the right to shoot him because he was on his property and he was threatening him. Me, I don't see nobody stepping up in front of me, getting in my face as a threat. Not a threat enough to grab my gun. I feel like that's a threat enough for me to whoop your ass, but not a threat for me to grab my gun and then shoot it, wasting bullets in the air and stuff, I don't know, but we could go off of that, but it's like, how threatened was you? Like, the threat wasn't big enough for you to use the gun. But that's neither here nor there. I don't really be into white on white crime like that. And then Joel, here go another one, Joel, because I've already gave you two. I gave you the Ethan Crumbly, and I gave you what is that dude's name? Chad Reed. Or I think that's actually the one that got shot, Chad Reed. Let me make sure. I'm trying to get better at my breaking news story. Oh, okay. Now, Joel, sorry, Joel. Actually, Cal Caruth is the one that did all that. Cal Caruth is the one that shot Chad Reed. So yeah, you could have used Ethan Crumbly. You could have used Cal. And you could have used Mitchell Lovelance, which is another one that threatened threatened to shoot up a school. Here go this one right here. Here go a little excerpt for you guys. A deranged Missouri man threatened to kill students at a high school in the name of Cal Rittenhouse, police said. Mitchell Loveland's 27 posted on Snapchat Saturday that he planned to shoot up Fettus High School in honor of the Illinois teen, according to charging documents cited by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Rittenhouse, 18, was acquitted of all charges last month in the shooting that killed 2 men and wounded a third during unrest in Kenosha, Wisconsin in August 2020. This is a little bit of what he had to say. Loveland, who was later arrested at his Fettus home, has been charged with making a terrorist threat, according to Jefferson County prosecutors. I'm going to shoot Fettus High School students in the name of Cal Rittenhouse, Loveland's post read. KMOV reported. Another post by Loveland's warned that no wonder schools get shot. The news just proved we can get away with it, especially if it's a explicit. He cursed, so I don't know what the curse word was, but I'm just gonna go off the rip and say he said shithole, especially if it's a shithole like Fettus. Charging documents read. So yeah, you have 3 examples of people that are either using guns because they just doing the most. Because that all 3 of those cases were doing the most to me, honestly. But yeah. And with the whole Mitchell Loveland, it's just, I mean, he's doing it in the name of Cal Rittenhouse. That's what he said. If he's joking, I wouldn't joke like that, because now look at your dumb ass. You got a terrorist threat, which is a very serious charge here in America, on your record because you trying to prove a point. And honestly, I think one grown man capping for another grown man is a little sus to me, bro. Like, and then he a kid, so you like, I mean, he 18 now, but it's like, that's a kid still. Like, he's still trying to go to school and crap. So it's like, why are you doing that? Why are you being sus, my guy? Like, ugh. So those are 3 examples that should have been in the place of people using guns wrong versus the Darnell Brooks when he ran over them people at the parade. Those are 3 examples that Joel Patrick could have gave, but he didn't. He chose to slide it back on the black community like he always does. It would really be very interesting, a person like Joel Patrick, to go to some of those places that don't care about you being a conservative. They clearly care about your skin color, and that's it. It would be funny to see him go to Sundown Town, one of those sundown towns, and start trying to talk some of them conservative talking points. I would love to see that, because he knows that every black person isn't treated the same here. And furthermore, it's like, I can't believe that white people that are his followers are like conservative crowd can't see through his BS. Like, he's clearly gaming y'all. Y'all remember when Trump was president and he would just say all that outrageous stuff about black people? Well, who was his audience? Trashy white people, dusty whites, tier 1. That was his audience. So who did he pander to? Them. Okay, who is most of Joel Patrick's audience? Conservative whites, racist whites, suspected white supremacists, because he's the token black guy. So who did he cater to? Who is his audience? Those people. So do he even really feel like this? Or is this just the character that he's playing for the internet? I mean, because don't get it twisted. A lot of people was giving money to Trump to run again for president in 2024. I wonder what happened to that money. You know, I wonder if he just took that money and ran, and y'all ain't never gonna see Trump again. I wonder if that's exactly what Joel Patrick is doing. You know, is he catering to the audience and taking their money? Because every time I see him make a post, then he got his link for his shirts and his stickers and his hats, right there on the thing. Hey, it's my birthday. Buy a shirt. Hey, it's not white or black. We just human. Buy a shirt. Buy a sticker. I always see all of his posts and all of his links with the buy the shirt. He says something that panders to them. And then it's like, buy my merch. If you support me, the token black guy, I don't know. I really hope that he's just playing a character and getting these people that think like this. I just hope that he's getting their money, and then at the end of the day, he jumps inside of his truck and bump UGK. I just really hope that that's what's happening. But on another note, I do feel like it's a little weird with the uptick in crime happening all of a sudden. Like, nobody ain't got no money and nobody ain't really doing nothing. Everybody pretty much either going back to work, trying to get their life back on track from the whole COVID shutdown. And it's just weird that, like, the uptick of mass shootings, people running in the stores, getting stuff, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It just doesn't really seem like these crimes that are happening are real. Even with the not Cal Rittenhouse, but what is his name? Cal who? Cal Carruth. Even with the Cal Carruth whole thing, with the Cal Carruth and the Chad Reed situation, it just doesn't seem believable. Like, for someone to film like an incident that's going on instead of going over there to go help or going to go tell they baby daddy or whatever, hey, back up, Even with the Mitchell Lovelands, like, that is a grown ass man. I could see if he was like 20 years old or something. He's 27 and he was threatening to go shoot up a high school. So all of those things just don't sound believable to me. It almost seemed like, if I wasn't crazy, kind of almost seems like they're doing all of this as manufactured crime so that it'll get closer and closer to us saying, yeah, maybe we should rethink the gun law. Maybe, we should take away, the Second Amendment, because look at all this crime that's happening with these guns. It kind of seems like that. I don't know. It's just weird. The uptick in crime. I don't know. But like I said, those are 3 examples that he could have gave and he didn't. He put it back on the black community because that's what his audience want. His audience want him to say the things that they want to say, but they can't say it because they know that they're going to be deemed a racist, as they should in some instances. Like I said, I don't necessarily disagree with everything. It's just that he don't give the other side to it. And, so I would just like to say to Joe, bring some balance to your page. I'm already there bringing balance to your page. Actually, I had a very nice conversation with a whole bunch of your white followers the other day. It was real civil and whatnot. I was like, I got to start being nicer to white people that don't have the same views as me. Sometimes, because sometimes I think that they just be ignorant. They really, really don't see. Like, when you are in an echo chamber, you love it until someone goes in there and screams. I'm the scream in the echo chamber. But you know what the scream in the echo chamber does? It makes you look around. Who said that? Who said that? So we need to start getting inside of these groups and having conversations with people that don't necessarily agree with us. But my whole thing is, I don't ever keep it civil. I used to not keep it civil. I'd go straight for the gauntlet. But sometimes you got to ease the information in. You got to get the points where y'all agree. I've started pointing out the things that I agree with them first, and then the things that I don't agree with. And then we argue about that for a little while, and then we get to a happy median. And usually it ends with them saying, yeah. But like I said, it's just the fact that it's not that I don't disagree with what he's saying. It's just one-sided, and I think that you need balance to your page. I think that you need to start speaking out on both instances, because we all know that conservativeness stems from Republican values and libertarian stems from Democrat values. So if that's the only people that you're talking to, you always going to be right in that room. But what about the people and what about the things in your conservative community that aren't right? I never hear you calling them out. So the only thing that I'm saying to Joel is that you have to start bringing some balance to your page, because it's not that I don't disagree with your stance. It's just that it's one-sided and you're biased, and we know towards whom you're biased to. And like I said, and this is the last thing that I'm going to say about this, is that once again, black people, because we always love to throw that out. Oh, they just don't like me because I'm this. I don't agree. So once again, black people, we're not mad that you're conservative or Republican or Democrat or a libertarian or date white girls or date white boys, or, you're pro-black or you're gay or you're straight. All of those are just labels, and we don't care about that. We're mad because the label that you claim comes before the only label that should always come first, and that's you being black. Overall, your blackness have to override that. Have to override the label that you're claiming, the conservative label, the Democrat label, the libertarian label, the gay label, the whatever label or group you in. Just know, or you should just want to, be black first, You should just want to do that, because right now we're literally in a war with, the government, and black people is at the bottom of that list because we claim those labels that basically the government gives to us so that we can be divided more. They give us those labels and then we claim them. And then that's how white supremacy seep into, the group again, because we decide that, oh, here's a group that gets it. Even the libertarian, which is, we just going off of, which is a group that just goes off of liberty for all. Well, once white supremacy seeps into it, which they always seep into every group, then the group is tainted. And then you wondering like, wait a minute, the first time you don't agree with something, then they kick you out the group, or they call you, oh, you ain't no real libertarian, you ain't no real conservative. No, you can always be black in any group that you want to be in. So if the agenda or the group that you in isn't necessarily looking out for the well-being of the black community, then you probably just need to get away from that group and just always claim black first. So, yep, that is the episode for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. The links, the description, everywhere that I'm going to be at will be in the description. But if you're listening to this on one of my streaming platforms, which is Apple Play, Google Play, Anchor, Spotify, YouTube, I think that's it. It's just 5. Yep. If you're listening to those on that, then, I just said them for you. But you can also go to my social media platforms, which is An Hour with Crowder on Facebook and Instagram, and Crowder the Great on Twitter. I'm out. Peace.